Laika Ad Astra. November the 3rd, 1957, was arguably one of the most important days in the history, not only of Earth, but also of a very large portion of the galaxy. Well, as soon as most of it converted to the Earth standard anyway. It was the day when the Soviet Union, one of the Earth's pre-contact empires, performed another successful test of its nascent space technology and launched the Sputnik 2 satellite into orbit around the mean blue planet. It was the second man-made machine to climb out of the gravity well and reach the near space. Just a month and a few days after the first successful satellite launch, also carried by the Soviet Union. But the second attempt was a bit more ambitious than a simple capsule with a radio. Sputnik 2 was supposed to carry the first Earth native into the space. The atmosphere at the launch center was ambiguous at best. Everyone was hoping for success, and most were sure that nothing could go wrong. Everything would go according to the plan. But that plan wasn't, some of them felt, exactly kind to a key member of the mission, the first cosmonaut in Earth history, the first being to take the first step towards the space. Kudryavka, who was just starting to respond to her new name, Laika, was calm and happy. She was a good dog, a very good dog, one whose life had definitely turned for the better compared to the streets of Moscow, when she became one of the dogs selected for training and for the honor of possibly becoming the first Earth being to leave the Earth. Sure, she didn't like some parts of the training, like being stuck in a small capsule with no room to move, but she endured them because they told her she was being a good dog. A few days earlier, she had played with one scientist's children because she was such a good dog that he had taken her to his home. Now she was stuck in the capsule on the top of a big machine, waiting for the experiment to end, performing as the best dog in the whole universe, which she was, according to the technician with tears in his eyes, who kissed her for luck. When thunder rolled under her and the machine shook, she wasn't happy. She was actually rather scared, despite being a brave and good dog. Her heart rate and respiration rate rose sharply, but she did her best to stay calm, barking only a bit, hoping that the experiment would soon end and she would get something nicer to eat than the goo available from the machine. She felt a strange pressure and didn't like it, but she endured it. Then, finally, the loud noise ended. The pressure was gone. She barked happily, hoping for the capsule door to open. Then she realized, although she was stuck in the small capsule and secured so she could only sit or stand, that there was something weird going on. She felt as if she was floating. Weird. She decided to eat some of the goo and wait. She couldn't do much more. The scientists still on the ground were celebrating. Laika had survived the launch, and she was now safely secured in Sputnik 2 capsule, orbiting above the Earth. There were some minor issues, but the mission was a success. The dog had calmed down and even eaten some of the food. It was possible she might live, at least for a few days. Not longer. A sacrifice to science and progress had to be made by a small mongrel from a Moscow street, a good dog, a brave dog, and soon to be a dead dog, most of them noted sadly. They were wrong. They lost contact with the capsule soon after its second orbit around the Earth was completed. No radio contact. Several telescopes that were tracking it visually reported that they had lost the satellite too. The first assumption, that there was an explosion caused by some as yet unknown technical failure, was completely wrong. There were no traces of an explosion, or of any kind of serious damage on the capsule when it appeared close to the Baikonur Cosmodrome from which it had been launched. True, there were some scratches, mostly caused by a fall from about 1 meter height onto the concrete, but there was no other physical damage. And after they opened the capsule, something no one had expected or even dreamed of doing, they released happy Laika back to the Earth. Laika was very happy. She wasn't just a good dog, she was the best dog. She had gone to space and came back. But the scientists were totally baffled. The only witness to the actual landing was quite drunk at the moment, having consumed a large quantity of a drink that could almost plausibly be described as vodka, supposedly to cheer the brave and doomed cosmonaut dog, claimed to have seen a weird-ass disc shit flying like a helicopter, except it had no propellers, hovering over the concrete and dropping the capsule on the ground. The details of what exactly happened that day in the orbit around the Earth remained confidential for a long time due to matters of intergalactic security, and even after they were released, the explanation was a murky, ass-covering, complicated thing revolving essentially around short-term insanity caused by medical equipment failure. Some facts can't be disputed. The Galactic Admiral Søren Arsten, leader of the Earth Interdiction Observatory Force, did indeed suffer a malfunction of the medical unit that was supposed to keep him in a functional state, despite a growing depression caused by many years of essentially sitting in his common module with nothing much to do. When he emerged from the medical pod on the November 3rd of the Earth calendar, he was in a highly emotional state, barely functional. The automated medical unit suggested further sleep, and records show that the Admiral heeded those recommendations at first, only to scramble out of the pod later, possibly to have a whiff of an illegal substance smuggled from the Earth's surface before going back to medical sleep. Those few minutes after he left the pod are often marked as a possible divergence point in reality by those who believe in the theoretical existence of parallel worlds. Had the Admiral gone back to the pod without stopping at the bridge for a moment, had he not caught sight of a new Earth orbital vehicle on the monitor, history might have gone in a completely different direction. Most historians are sure that his second-in-command, Bast Astaret, would never have given orders to interfere, since she hated dogs. Maybe there is a parallel universe to ours, where the Admiral went back to the medical pod, but in ours, he stopped on the bridge, stared for a moment at the main screen, and then slowly shuffled to his command chair, ordering his XO away. "What's happening?" he mumbled, almost incomprehensibly and visibly with his mind not working at peak efficiency, as the bridge records clearly show. "The Earthlings are launching another satellite, oh Lord." Again, they're moving quickly. Another can with a primitive radio. "There's living being inside, sir." "Oh, interesting. Cheeky of them apes, thinking they'd be able to return back without burning to a crisp." "Well, sir, they don't expect it to return. It's a one-way mission, just to prove that an Earth organism can survive launch and live for some time in the orbit." "Oh, brave of them," mumbled the Admiral, and took another whiff of the illicit substance that caused the life support system on the bridge to go into overdrive. "To a brave but stupid human sacrificing himself." "It's not human, sir." "What?" "They launched with an animal, a dog, by the name of Laika." The Admiral shredded a fat and burning roll with his sharp teeth, and screamed in anger and anguish. "Sir?" "A dog. They sent a dog to die into space." "Yes, sir." "A dog. Member of subsentient yet incredibly cute race living on this stupid rock." "Yes, sir." "The dog. One of the reasons why I argued against any aggressive galactic involvement in their development, because eradicating humans, dangerous as they might be, would endanger the existence of dogs." "Yes, sir. We have a telemetry from their capsule and also a deep scan from our spy set nearby, sending it to your screen, sir." The Admiral watched in sullen silence for a moment, reading the data on his screen. "She's supposed to be poisoned in a few days, those bastards." We don't think she'll survive it long, sir. Their thermal stabilization sucks and the temperature is increasing." "She'll cook inside," mumbled the Admiral. Poor dog. Such a good dog." "This cannot stand," he shouted suddenly, screamed in anger, and started to cry. Sir? Save her. Sir, we can... Save her, damn you. It's a direct order. Get her back home. She's a good dog. She doesn't deserve this. Historians agree that even after this incident, events could still easily have diverged away from the path that is shaping the galaxy even now. It might have become yet another of hushed-up incidents in which members of the interdiction fleet were not discreet enough. But further provocations from the Earth were just too much for the Admiral. When, a few months later, a satellite launched by the United States of America, a rival of the Soviet Union, carrying 7 extremely cute puppies into the orbit, accompanied by sad narration about how these dogs would die, but their sacrifice would help humankind to reach the stars, the Admiral lost it completely. The puppies were returned to the Earth, and first official contact was made, though in the form of angry shouting in only a slightly accented American English. "What the fuck is wrong with you, you sadistic bastards?" It is still unknown what led humans to increase pressure by launching satellite after satellite with dogs. Conspiracy theorists claim that it was due to a leak from the interdiction fleet to humans, and they usually name Bast Asteroid, the second in command, as the source. At first glance, it doesn't seem plausible, because she's on record several times, claiming that dogs are filthy, ugly animals, even worse than humans themselves. On the other hand, she claimed to like the Earth cats, and she became the first galactic to own an Earth Persian cat, because she was gifted one on the day when galactics and Earthers met face to face, or face to tentacles in some cases, for the first time, at least officially.